Okay, so I know you guys are adults, so you probably wouldn't know this, but Bluey is one of the most popular kids' cartoons right now. And we also talked about this earlier this week. Daily Wire has announced their own streaming platform with all new kids' entertainment. They're releasing Saturday morning cartoons with like 18 different shows or something, hundreds of episodes. And one of those is called Chilla, and it's about a family of chinchillas, and they happen to be blue. The girls are purple, okay? It's total coincidence. These baby chinchillas are getting homeschooled by their parents. And it's just supposed to be a wholesome, family-friendly kids show. Nothing too complicated, right? But after finding out that this streaming platform exists, Bluey fans have attacked Daily Wire for ripping off Bluey with Chilla. Just because, the animals are blue? Is that it?
I was gonna say, like, if you really think about the artwork of it, there's not a lot of visual choices there. Like, you're gonna go with blue. Like, I guess you could go with, like, green or something, but you're not gonna do red. You're not going to do yellow. Like, there are just certain colors that are going to be more appealing to the eye that you will choose as an artistic direction. Right. Not because some guy was like
Bluey knocking off the Blue's Clues show just because it's a dog and it's blue? No.
Right.
Yeah. It's like still a different show.
If you compared Warner Brothers cartoons with Hanna-Barbera or something like that back in the day, you'd be like, they use the same colors.
Yes.
They ripped each other off.
I think they're just looking for things to get mad at, and they're assuming that just because something is hosted by the Daily Wire platform, it's going to be right-wing indoctrination for kids. When in reality, it just seems to be a very middle-of-the-road, wholesome kids show with zero messaging, and that's the point of it, right?
It's threat. It's a threat to the Bluey community.
Bluey's Australian, right?
It is.
Okay, that's the problem.
And, Peppa Pig is British. And those two are, I think, the most popular kids shows right now, besides Cocomelon.
We can't have an American-speaking cartoon influencing kids to pick up guns.
They should have made a knockoff of Peppa Pig, if anything.
That's right.
Like,
make it Patriot Pig. I'm coming up with all the golden ticket ideas
go with
right
white
now.
American patriot.
I have the best ideas today. So I found some tweets. I dug up some tweets from angry Bluey fans.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get a third one. It's a Friday. I want a third one.
It's music to my ears.
That's what you hear there. That's Ian and Carter doing their harmonizing.
That's incredible.
With Phil doing the screen.
Nice.
Carter produced that for us.
That's awesome.
Here's one tweet. If Bluey ever gets bought out by a conservative outlet like the Daily Wire, I will be in literal tears and end up offing myself. No joke.
It shouldn't like bother you.
They cannot blatantly disrespect Bluey like this.
Like when I've had to watch so much stuff that I love get ruined, and I've never been close to.
This is like
myself.
A grown adult person.
Yeah,
why would you care that much about Bluey anyway?
I feel like that's a little too much.
Like
they're suggesting that because Daily Wire is getting accused of ripping off Bluey, they should just buy the rights to Bluey, and both of them can be Daily Wire shows.
That they couldn't afford. Even the Daily Wire.
No, I don't
couldn't
think
afford
so.
Bluey.
No, Bluey's already a toy.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
That's a very expensive thing.
Yeah,
Plus, I do worry about this stuff for the Daily Wire is doing such good work. Like they are working so hard to not just critique the culture, but to also change the culture with their own entertainment. But the problem is like when you've come into it from that space, you're always going to be seen as like this disruptive force that's going to be labeled by people on the outside. So you've lost a portion of the audience just because there are weirdos who are adults who love Bluey who are politically inclined, and your goal is then to get to those people who just aren't politically aware. And that can just be so hard when the mainstream has just infiltrated the culture so far.
Now's the time to do it, though. I've spent the last year working on a cartoon myself called Star Spangled Adventures, which is put together through one of Ben Carson's organizations, and they're short little 5 to 10 minute episodes. They're animated things, and I write the songs for them. But there's such a thirst for for that. Like, look at the like I think the average family is tired of Disney, right? The average family is sort of catching on that Disney's recycling the good old stuff and turning it into crap. So like there's an opportunity here now, which the Daily Wire's taken advantage of, where you will not only reach the people who are catching on to it, but you will reach those people on the outskirts who just want to have a cartoon on for the kids without worrying about the agenda that's piped into it.
Because a non-binary bison, for instance.
I suggested in the chat, I said if Patriot Pig exists, he should eat freedom fries, because I'm old enough to remember freedom fries. And that's what I want, because I don't want French fries. I want freedom fries.
Freedom
for my
fries.
Patriot Pig.
That was a McDonald's thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Good old freedom fries after 9/11.
Counting it up so far. So there was the non-binary bison character that was on that Netflix show. I forget what it was called. And then there was also a non-binary character on Paw Patrol. So we covered that too. And there was also a non-binary character on Sesame Street, right?
Yes.
So we covered all three of those things.
They also had
what is the agenda? Like, because there clearly is one.
They also had the first homeless character on Sesame Street, and then this tweet goes, Oscar the Grouch has been living in a garbage can for like...
For what? He gets no credit.
for like 70 years. Like, he gets no love. Like, what's up with that?
That's
like,
funny.
That's not very nice.
They had an unhoused
character. Yes. Also, somebody said MAGA marmoset. I like it. I like marmosets are adorable. So.
Y'all just reminded me that another account that has blocked me on the X Twitter universe is Sesame Street. I have been blocked by Sesame
so
Street.
Random.
Yeah, no, it's not
Why?
random, because they posted a thing that was very pro Rainbow Club, and I think I tweaked the image and reposted it, and they just did not want that image go on their account or something. But you know what? That's the way it is. So,
how old are your kids?
My kids are 6, 9, and 11.
How do you decide what kind of entertainment they're allowed to watch?
Well, I think when they were younger, before COVID era, it was sort of like anything goes. Sesame Street hadn't become quite as woke, or at least we didn't recognize it. But now you just sort of watch what you have to watch what they watch, and just sort of get an idea of what it is and who made it and stuff. But like my kids now, like we sit around and watch old episodes of the Dick Van Dyke Show together and stuff. You have to go way back now, and just, there's probably still stuff piped in even back then, but at least there was some sort of American values that were, themed throughout it.
You know what I've been watching lately?
What's
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
Filmed where I'm from,
Dude,
Dallas.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so American.
Yeah.
It's so pro-America, it's not even funny. Like, it's the greatest.
Freaking pro-American agenda.
It's so awesome. They're all wearing their Wrangler jeans, and they're... It's just fantastic, and like you
they don't make it like that anymore.
That you have to go back to shows from that time period to really I love that stuff. I'm watching the show. He's so not good at acting. I don't care. I don't like. He's like, I don't care what you say, Trevette. And it's like, you can see where he like literally started the line, and like it's not good, but it's great at the same time.
You know why it's great? Because there's nothing. The entertainment back then, you just wanted to come home and sit down and watch a show and not have to think. You wanted to escape your job. Now you come home, you watch something, you're like, you can feel whatever agenda it is hitting you.
He's so like in that show, he's like really afraid of computers, and Trevette loves he's into technology, and he's like, I can find out where this guy lives, and he's like, I don't know about that. He's like, there's this episode where he's got this laptop, this enormous.
It's all big and chunky.
You could just beat someone to death with this laptop in the car. And at one point, Walker gets really frustrated, and he closes it, throws it out the window into a garbage can, and it's just the it looked like it was heavy to pick up with one hand.
It's like,
throw the window. It's just in like the fact that you have to go to a new company now just to have that, when all of it was kind of like that back in the day for the most part. Like, you shouldn't have to just go to the Daily Wire to watch entertainment that's not anti-American. That's depressing, right?
Yeah, I think they're not even like by making Chilla, yes, it has obvious similarities to Bluey, but they're not even accusing Bluey of being anti-American or anti-family or evil somehow. It's just hosted on Disney Plus, from what I understand, which is a company. Disney is a company a lot of parents have decided they don't want to support anymore for a lot of different, very valid reasons. So it's not an attack on the show itself. It's just it's being hosted by a company that they want to conscientiously object to supporting, and they have every right to do that.
It's funny because people, there have been people in the chat who say like we have like anti-Disney bias, and that's, I guess, kind of, I don't know if it's fair.
Okay, sure.
Like
yeah.
no, here's the thing.
I
I'm
do.
like, I don't like anything that's coming out of Marvel lately. I don't care about Star Wars. Indiana Jones was garbage. I liked The Creator, which was technically a Disney property because it was a 20th Century Fox film, which is owned by Disney. But it's not like an anti-Disney bias, but I understand
It's
why
not
it's there.
anti-Disney. I'll tell you why. Because I grew up loving Disney. I took my kids to Disney every year, probably up until 2019. We were a Disney family. But watching the company turn into what it's turned into, it's just ruined it. And I had to sort of come to terms with that and just say, let them die.
You went through every stage of grief.
Yeah, you go, no, not that franchise.
Yeah, see-
and then there's just a bunch of that, and then you're just like, I give up.
Like for me, it feels like a lot of people, they turn it into this thing where it's like it's about being anti this. Mine's like, I just don't like any of it.
Yeah.
I just don't care about any of it.
Yeah, you feel a little abandoned on your own in part because you have invested all that time. That's the thing about these cartoon communities is they've invested so much into their whole life into this cartoon, or like the Disneyana community that collects all the Disney stuff and their whole house is whatever. To have to come to terms with the fact that company sucks now. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance that goes with that.
And like you've invested so much. It's a sunken cost fallacy. Like I've spent so much time loving Disney. Like now I can't accept the fact that it's not good because it means I've wasted all my time with it and stuff like that. Look, I'll never not love the Mighty Ducks. That was a Walt Disney movie back in the day. I love all three of them. Oh, also, by the way, here's a fun fact. I recently watched all three of them.
Yeah.
And the third movie, a lot of people don't like the third movie. I actually don't hate the third movie. Has like one of a very early social justice storyline where the girl that Charlie Conway is trying to get with in the movie, she's like trying to get the name of the school changed because it's the Warriors, and she considers that to be very bad that you would go by the Warriors because it's got a logo that's a Native American. And at the end of the movie, they change the name of the school and get rid of it with the help of Gordon Bombay, who's a lawyer again, and they become the Seton Hall Mighty Ducks.
There you
so
go.
that name, they become the Team USA Ducks. They're really just hockey colonialists who go around and change a bunch of team names in their favor.
They just barge on in there and change the name.
What's up with that? Disney was pro-colonialism in the early
That's
2000s.
how it starts, all the way back then.
I love that movie. I love those movies. Though.
Yeah, they're great. And there's a lot of great Disney content from over the years. It's just that I'd say the last decade, it's completely gone downhill. So there's, why watch the new stuff when you can go back to the old stuff?
Also, you would have been off sides every time you tried to do the flying V.
Right.
You would it would never work.
We did. I watched the first one with my kids recently. Finally got them to sit down. My kids are so smart though. They're like, every sports movie is the same, Dad. They start off as a ragtag team and then they get it together and win the championship. I don't care to watch this.
Through capitalism, because Ducksworth gives them like $100,000 to buy equipment.
Right, yeah.
Also, like, by the way, Ducksworth did nothing wrong in that movie. He's like, come back to work. And he's like, I don't want it. Because he didn't do anything wrong. He's like, look, you were on community service.
Yeah.
Now I need you to come back and do your job as a lawyer. That's what we pay you for.
The premise of Mighty Ducks is funny because this guy gets pulled over for drunk driving and then they put him in charge of kids.
Yeah.
And
I have a replica Adam Banks Hawks jersey. I never wanted the Ducks jersey, and I never wanted to wear the CCM helmet. I wanted the Jofa helmets that they wore. The bad guys always looked cooler in those movies.
Yeah.
Also, the guy who plays Gunnar Stahl in Mighty Ducks 2 is the goalie for the varsity team in Mighty Ducks 3.
Interesting.
As my brother was an extra in the first, because
Oh,
I'm from
cool.
Minnesota, so the movie was filmed in
Oh, neat.
Minnesota. Yeah, so I'm a wealth of Mighty Ducks trivia. But that was when Disney was good.
That's a whole show right there.
That was when Disney was good. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.